welcome back to another episode of A Candor Gander, where your host knows nothing, but yet he's here. We've got a really awesome assembly of people here today. I'm really excited to have you all. We'll go ahead and start with introductions, but before we do, just want to first and foremost, I can't have this stream and have the people we have on without congratulating Mr. About Life podcast, Too Honest, for showing up in the castle, and Maddie Pesk repping the Bogside crew. Welcome to the castle. I expect to see the rest of you all here in the future, hopefully. So with and Brown Jen, he's not here right now, but congrats as well. Another great individual, another great addition to the castle. We'll go ahead and start with intros. Let's go ahead. Christian Peter, DFK today. You've been on before. You're a great guest. You're a neighbor of mine, quite almost literally, figuratively. I can get in a car and and drive to you, unlike some of our other guests here. You DFK today. You've made some tremendous progress. How's that coming along? Where can people find you? You've been rolling out some really awesome content, by the way, I must add. But for those of you who don't know you, and maybe those seasoned people who do know you, tell us something we don't know about you already.
Definitely. Us San Diego boys have got to stick together and carpool up to LA for the 3XP conference coming up here June, 8th
right.
and 9th. So we should have that meetup finalized here shortly. I've been talking to Bolon about it. Risen, maybe you can push some buttons too, and I'm trying to get at least Dreamer to hang out with us and hopefully a couple of other people. Right now it's tentatively going to be June 8th from 6 to 8, so that makes it easy. 6-8. We'll either do it somewhere at the conference venue or probably a brewery in Pasadena. So come hang out, SoCal. Sargent was the first one to start up the DFK meetups in San Diego. We had about 12 people there. It was great. Pieface sent us some bloaters and merch before they were even released to the general public. That was awesome as well. And God, today I'm excited because I bought 200 billion PayPay tokens, and I know that they're going to rebound, baby. I know it.
Yeah, baby.
Holy shit.
All right. Yes. Financial advice. I love it. Well, I must say I love Risen's face. He had that expression of Bolon hasn't told me anything about a meetup. What am I organizing? What did I sign up for?
Listen, Bolon doesn't know I'm here, so we're gonna have a good night.
Oh yeah.
Well, oh boy. I'd say we're gonna pull some alpha, but you've admitted you know very little, so maybe some misleading information at the very least. We can hope for. So Christian, today you will be repping. Let's see. Let me share my screen here. You'll be repping Mr. SgtFilthyMcNasty. All right. So for those of you who are new, who are unaware, game show where we award points arbitrarily, and if the guest who's repping you wins, you win a prize. Today's prize, a Greater Chaos Crystal. So if you do win, hit me up. Christian Peter repping SgtFilthyMcNasty. 55. Too honest, I'm very excited to have you on. Not for anything other than I feel like week after week after week after week I've bothered you to see if you're available to jump on with me. And ironically enough, SgtFilthyMcNasty said, "Hey, reach out to Too Honest." And I go, you know what? I've reached out a couple of times. I know he's got a crazy schedule. I'll try one more time. Lo and behold, you said yes, and here you are with us. About Life podcast. Tell us about yourself. Your first time guest. So give us your intro.
Well, yeah, man. Well, I'm the founder of ALP. I kind of fell into DFK, so to say. I found it mysteriously with no knowledge of a huge community behind it. So when Grady ended up finding me on YouTube and brought me in here with all y'all, and here I am today. You know what I mean? But I'm a veteran. I did 10 years in the military, Army. Now I work at a tire plant, Goodyear, down at North Carolina. I do that at night. So at night, I work in the tire plant. In the daytime, I do my podcasts with my family. Luckily, I got some days off to hang out with y'all today. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Thank you very much for your service. For those of you who aren't yet subscribed to your channel, who may be unaware, you're now listed on the cast that I mentioned earlier. Go find him. He will be there alongside our compatriots here, Mr. Matty, Past Botside Crew, and Brown Jen. So thank you very much. Today, to be honest, you'll be repping Mr. Richard Kimball, who's apparently really great at fantasy basketball, and his claim to fame. I think he said maybe I'm confusing it, but you beat out George from Cryptos RS. Welcome to Honest Risen. I think we should all know you, but for those of us who have been living under a rock and maybe don't spend time either at AMAs or conferences or on Discord, who are you? You're the Lord of Chaos, but tell us about yourself. Elaborate a little.
I'm the person that y'all wish you were, where you showed up one day and randomly joined up with some friends to start a little project on the side where they decided, maybe your skills at actually talking to people and communicating would be useful because we're a bunch of devs that don't know how to communicate. And then you end up here. I've been with the project since October. To give you some context, me, Bolon, and Dreamer all joined in the same week to talk about as early as we possibly could be. Originally joined the project from one of the original creators was my DM in my Dungeons and Dragons or my Dungeons and Dragons game that I ran that I did every week. Besides that, I've pretty much done a little bit of everything at DFK, from marketing to community management. Pretty much every event that has happened internally, externally has been run through me. And when I'm not doing anything important, I fuck around on Discord and cause unsurmountable chaos, of which has been, let's give credit for the fact that it's been much more tempered lately. I have not broken Discord in X amount of days. I have not caused any drop in price. I think I should be given a prize for that.
I suspect someone's had a talk with you.
I've surprisingly only had one conversation with our HR department about one simple dick joke that I made in Discord that apparently didn't go over well. But besides that, I'm pretty much on a clean record. I've only ever pissed off Bolon a couple thousand times.
That's very fair. You're the Lord of Chaos, but Beeve claims you are also the Lord of Dehydration. I suspect that's true. You'll be repping none other than Mr. Worm369 today, so make Worm proud.
You're gonna lose, Worm, but I'll try my best.
How dare you? You're better than that.
You know what, Worm? You know what? I'm gonna go off book and give you a prize of my own when we lose. But
Sir Worm.
There you go. Hey, and this I know for a fact. You are the Lord of Chaos, but you're a Lord of your word. So if Risen says such a thing, he means it. So you two connect. It's gonna make it rain. Bob, nothing. Welcome, another first-time guest. Really excited to have you on. I know you were maybe sort of leaning yes, maybe not. You had some stuff going on, but I saw you on the most recent episode of Boxside Chat. Plug. And you brought up some interesting points. I think you wowed a lot of us. Oh boy, I'm gonna stop there.
How dare you? How dare you?
But for those of you who don't know you, introduce yourself. I think you're part of the ADFK Guild, if I'm not mistaken. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Hey, yeah, thanks, Sarge. Appreciate the invite. Glad to be here. Yeah, I don't create any content. I founded nothing, and I'm not applying for any internships. Just a nothing meandering around the void, like all soul. But happy to talk about some DFK. And I've been on Bogside a couple of times. I'm in native. I'm into DFK and I've been on there a couple times, and that's about it. Just passionate community member.
Well, we look forward to hopefully hearing from you more often because I swear ADFK is just filled with big brains. I don't know what it is. There must be an IQ test requirement before you're being let in. I'll leave it at that. Sticks intern repping none other than Mythic Squad today alongside Too Honest as well here. Sticks intern, you've been at you were at our meetup, the last one we had here in San Diego. You're also choosing to be the bloater fish, trying to embody and sort of embrace the bloater ness. Who are you? What do you do? Tell us about yourself. You're streaming now, I hear.
Yeah, I am streaming now, which is cool. So who I am, I'm the bloater that sticks fished out of the lake, with his very first fish, and because he didn't realize that we're basically useless, he put me to work instead of selling me. But then he got DFK helper, and what I was doing was basically just managing his heroes, and he told me he was going to have to let me go. And in the bloater world, that of course means eating me. And so I had to find a way to stay in his employment. And so that's why I started creating content. Now I got a weekly stream going on every Wednesday at 7 Pacific, 9 Grady Moonlight time. And come by for the office hours. I like to talk about random DFK stuff. I like to show pictures of numbers. And that's about it. Hopefully there's enough numbers for me to take pictures of between now and next week.
I love it. Before I assign someone to you, Bob Nothing, I don't think I assigned someone to you. To be repping, you would be repping Freak. So congrats.
Ooh, very fun.
Make Freak proud, and then Mr. Sticks intern, we'll let you know who you're repping here in a second. And
this is a big deal.
This is a big deal. Let's see. Well, you wouldn't believe it, but Freak came up again. We'll come back around to you because we don't need him rep twice. We love Freak, but we're not going to do that. We'll come around to you. Well, you shouldn't, because here we go. Be Easy.
Ooh.
Repping Mr. Be Easy. Congrats, Be Easy.
Wait, how do you do that? How do you write that on the thing? That's cool.
I'm a magician, dude.
That's secret fish knowledge.
That's how. It is OBS.
He got those ways, bro. He got those ways.
He's got Jedi mind tricks. I love it. Maddie Pask, welcome back. I must say, Jeez, what a show! I gotta give you credit.
Oh no, I'm just moving into human camera, and I didn't want that was just what I had available handy.
That's just the default page.
Yeah. If you knew how OBS worked, Maddie, I have several default pages. I just chose that one.
Maddie Pask, welcome back. I must credit you for brilliant ideas. Every time you come on. Last time you were like, hey, why don't you invite Bull on? And I did. And this time you're like, why don't you invite Risen? And I did. I'm gonna hire you. I mean,
hold on. It's not because I'm like smart. I just know these they just sit around doing nothing. So I know that they'll agree to a stream. I mean, come on.
You'd be surprised at how little I get invited to for various reasons.
We should. All right, you're invited to the next Bogside. Done. You're on next
done.
Tuesday.
Done. Maddie, tell us about yourself. Congrats again on being
super pumped about that.
Into the castle here.
Yes, that is very cool.
Tell us something we don't know about you, because I know you've introduced yourself a couple times. Something to share with the audience.
Right. Well, my name is Maddie Pask. I do a podcast with two of my very good friends, Franz and Guy Kid. And here is a little something you don't know, is that I had introduced myself previously. I had said I do a podcast with two of my friends. The two of them texted me individually and said, like, hey, say our names. So I'm saying now, Franz and Guy Kid are the two guys I do the podcast with. I've known them since college. They're two of my closest friends. We love this game and we love speculating on it. And I'm so happy to be here again, Sarge. Let's do this.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And we'll turn this into a drinking game. Every time Maddie plugs friends and Guy Kid, we all take a
Oh,
swig.
it'll happen a lot. I love them. Okay.
Guy Kid has the best PFP on the internet. That's all.
true.
Guy Kid
It's true.
does have the best. Second
Oh,
to maybe
is that
me.
iOS code? Is that who I get?
iOS code. You're repping iOS.
Holy shit.
Oh, Bullet Bourbon.
iOS code.
I'm
not
ready
gonna
for the
lie.
drinking game.
You're
what's the
ready.
rule?
The last time I was on stream drinking anything over 12%, I said some silly things, so I toned it down.
Wait, iOS
but
code.
really-
iOS code though. Shout out if I win, we need to do some trades because I've seen Mellow Green Giant in the market so many times on heroes that I like. So we need to talk.
I love it. I love it. Last but not least, the cool guy here in town repping Primetime Guild. Is that right, Wowie? I think you're a member of Primetime Guild.
Yep, that's
the
right.
one, the only Wowie, keeper of all game meta. And I bet I've insulted half the crowd here in the room. But you Twitch. You do some pretty awesome stuff. You've got your Wowie ratings. I mean, where can people find your Twitch? Tell us about yourself. And I know you've sort of introduced yourself in the past. Maybe tell us something we didn't know about you since maybe the last time you've been on.
That's going to be fun. All right. Hey, everybody. I am the owner and operator and proprietor, along with a fantastic co-host with Maddie Pask of the Super Spec chat on Mondays usually it's on Mondays, but normally when we get some alpha drops, I like to go over those and give out my professional best guess.
Wait, who praise you?
It's a lot of fun. I've also started the YouTube channel where I am posting all of the reruns. So if anyone misses any of those, or you want to catch up, or you want to do the Grady 2x speed and get through our 5-hour chats in 2.5 hours, feel free. It's the same place, 0x Wowie. I'm on everything, Twitter, all that. And let's see, something you don't know about me. I think everyone is pretty caught up. I do live in Florida, but because I live in Florida, I do not own a single pair of pants.
Hey,
It's
listen,
all
Wowie,
shorts, baby.
all shorts all day. I wouldn't even be surprised. I don't know if you're part of the no pants club, like I am a majority of the time while working.
Oh, where do you guys meet?
What is the cost for membership?
Where do y'all meet
Listen,
is the first response.
After the first year of working from home by myself, you're like, you know what? I'm going to get up. I'm going to get dressed. And then there's a certain point that you reach of nobody can see below your waist.
Yeah.
You don't need pants. Pants are for if someone shows up at the door.
I will say a couple of things. I think you have a mirror behind you. So one, if you're not wearing pants, just beware.
That's just for you.
Yeah.
Private show for me. It's supposed to be private after hours, but we'll take it. We'll take it.
Backstage pass.
Backstage pass only.
It's a
only
Florida
fans.
thing.
I love it.
Listen, you don't know.
It
You
truly
have
is.
laws and rules wherever you live.
I got sent out to,
I've deposed people without pants on, so I get you, dude.
oh, that's perfect. I
Shoes
got
on top.
Sometimes when you're going through hard shit, like you don't want to be constricted.
Yeah, I just don't want to blast my AC all day in the middle of the day just because I have to interview someone for 8 hours. Like.
Well, I love how we've already gone off the rails. I expect nothing but great things for the rest of this stream. Wowie, you're repping Eric's here.
Hell
I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah, so before we go ahead and start the show, a few announcements, or start the content of the show, a few announcements. If you saw my last stream, I had a DCX stream. There was a whitelist giveaway in the comments. You had to comment and say something cool about the video. The winner of that contest, Coin Wizard, I'll connect with you. I have your contact information. But full disclosure, got to put it up here on screen. So congrats, Coin Wizard. Alrighty. So with that said, more shielding to do here. Maddie Pask, here we go. Another opportunity to maybe mention Guy Kid. Fight Club. Duels may be over, but it's Fight Club season. Yet another opportunity for you to collect some some tickets, raffle tickets along the way while Duels is down for a minute. If you've not yet checked him out, feel free to check him out. It's worth a shot. It's they're running, I believe, contest every day, maybe. I think.
Yeah, they're giving out bonus tickets for top. He's doing a different category each day, and then top rank in that category for each day in terms of and ask Bob. I mean, Bob knows more about it than I do. He created the categories in terms of it's like weight classes for like certain levels of certain heroes each time. So
Yeah,
very cool.
And
Everybody could play it.
Yeah,
going up a class every day.
Yeah.
Can that statement be true, and Bob's statement about he doesn't create anything also be true? I think that's not, I mean, he can't do something like that and not have a claim to fame. I mean, you're
That
a
doesn't
content
count.
creator. It counts, my friend. It counts.
No, Bob's
anyhow,
a smart dude. We need to listen to him today.
no,
Yeah,
brilliant for
make
sure.
more content.
Yes. All right. Next show, and then we'll get to going. I just want to play a quick 3XP video for those of you who are aware of the conference, who may not be aware of the conference. It's happening in June. I'll show a quick video, and it'll come with a prompt for all of us to maybe commit to some action here after this video. So I'll show that here on the screen. All right, so there's an opportunity to tag your favorite GameFi project, DFK, tag a streamer, any streamer, for a chance to win some hefty prizes. I think big prize here is 25K, and I've heard rumors that if DFK wins, that some of that at least gets rolled over to us, the community. So, pretty excited. I'll be sure to retweet that out. But again, it's a 3XP tweet. Engage with that tweet. Engage with any 3XP content. If you can't be there in person, that's fine. But let's rep DFK. At least in the virtual social spaces. With that said, more to come on all that. Pretty excited to see what comes of it. Risen, I mean, I guess you're here. Might as well try and pick your brain. Anything you know about the conference that we don't know about yet?
No.
All right. I tried.
Listen, I will say most of the conference stuff happens pretty quickly. So closer to the event, within a month, we have a pretty solid game plan. But we aren't one of the people that generally, and this is a positive, we aren't one of the people that would generally a year out shill out the money to have all that stuff locked up. So we kind of go to the point of we want you to ask us to be there, basically. What can you give us to show up and rep there? So a lot of the times that's why you see kind of last minute things, is because we are trying to take the funds we have and extend them as long as possible and not show up places that we're not wanted or things like that. So I'm very interested in going. I know Bolon is very interested in going, but to be determined.
If I don't see you there, rug. Just saying it.
Wow.
Putting it out there. Anyhow,
all right. Such a low bar. Come on.
It's a very low bar. Anyhow, so back to the content here. I think I'm supposed to run some sort of game show. Quick recap. We've changed the format a little bit. I think Maddie P, you'll love this. We're doing kind of an open debate format where we all get to jump in and.
Oh, like whenever I want? I can talk like right now?
I mean, Maddie, you
Except
can
right
try,
now.
but I'm very good at
Except right now.
interrupting.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
There is a
Okay.
mute button, and I'm not afraid to use it.
That'll
I'll
that'll
have
Just
a
know
roll
that
out.
any
silent.
amount of muting that happens to me will directly contribute to how much you're able to talk in the Discord.
Oh, dang. That's, I'll think on that. 15-minute silent timer.
Just watch Christian Peter. He will be talking crazy. I know.
We're all a little crazy here. 15-minute silent timer. When we get down to about 5 minutes, I'll get some prompts up on the screen, and we'll go from there. And then at the very end, if there's any unfinished business, we can maybe get back to it. I'll be sure to call on people if I see you sort of maybe a bit quiet, try and catch you up on the points game. Hear your opinions first and foremost. And then we'll go from there, and I think hopefully I can better interact with the audience and sort of have them engaged throughout the discussion. Beautiful, perfect. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get to our first question. I'm excited about this one. I know we were just talking to BXB, and I think this is a good segue to this question. It's a long-winded one, but I promise it's a good one. It'll be the only long-winded question. Okay. Frisky I'm just kidding. No more stories. So it's gonna be long-winded, but it'll be worth it. Yeah, and again, you sign up for these things when you jump on stream. Sentiments below. I think that's sort of a fair assessment. We kind of felt it, we kind of see it, and we kind of hear it from people. So let's turn that frown upside down, why don't we? The question is brought to you by and inspired by DFK Bull Huddle Gang himself. I'm not a chart guy, and I can barely say technical analysis. So let's let alone conduct one on a project. So with that said, let me show you a chart of Jewel since 2021. Warning: this image is not for the faint of heart, but I'm gonna put it up on the screen here. All right, what do you think? Not fun, right? Not fun whatsoever. But actually, this image here was not Jewel.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
It's not Jewel.
I see what you're doing. That's freaking Bitcoin.
It's actually it's ETH.
Yeah, even better.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Let's compare ETH. So it's ETH in 2017. Okay.
Wait. No, Sarge. If you're trying to pull a fast one on us, was that what that was? Like,
I am. It was bait and switch. Let me show you an image though of ETH in 2017 juxtaposed to Jewel since 2021, and you think about this. You let me know if you see any similarities here. So that's ETH here at the top, and that's Jewel here at the bottom. I mean, it almost looks the same. And again, I'm no tech analyst person. Here at the bottom, this is courtesy of Huddle Gang. So you can see here people who are interested in the Fi part of GameFi and people who are interested in the game part of GameFi. Now, again, it sounds pretty. I was supposed to cheer you guys up, but what am I getting at? I think.
Please let us know.
It's a psyop.
No. It's not a setup. It's not a setup. I promise you. I think what happens and what the complaint you hear on Twitter from putters, from people is that, hey, Bitcoin has gone up X percent, ETH's gone up X percent, and Jewel's still at 18 cents. Blah blah blah. It's a misnomer. It's a wrong way to go about it. You're comparing apples and oranges. You're comparing the utility of Bitcoin and ETH to the utility of a game token, right? Let's compare apples to apples. Let's look at GameFi projects since maybe last summer, and then maybe we won't be so down on ourselves. So here on the screen, you see GameFi projects. Illuvium's here. You've got Axie. Yes, Jewel's down 90%, but compare yourself against other apples, and then maybe compare yourself a bit further against what those apples actually, those games, right? Is DFK better than those games? I would say yes. I would definitely say yes. So, with that said, my question to you all, after that long-winded sort of discussion, GameFi is in its infant stages. The first GameFi project, CryptoKitties, was released in 2017. If you're investing your time, your effort, your energy, your money on DFK today, boy, I'm really on fire today. I'm gonna try and fit all your names here somewhere. It's quintessential it's quintessential to sort of maybe saying, hey, you know what, you're investing into Bitcoin in 2014. Look at GameFi and the GameFi space. It was considered to be a joke then, and a rug pull, and people laughed at Bitcoin, but look at it now, right? The question is, am I crazy for thinking we'll see a similar bounce back to GameFi, specifically DFK, like we saw with ETH and Bitcoin during the last few bull runs? Christian, I feel like this question's up your alley. I'll call on Christian first, and then afterwards, people can jump in and tell me how terrible a question that was. Christian,
Can't wait.
That was the longest question of all history, I think, Sarge. I mean, that just was. I would have preferred the Frisky Fox story. That was amazing, but no, I think that I created a video similar to this just a week or so ago, and when morale is at its lowest, that's usually the time to buy, right? So it can't get much worse. But also too, we're all going to, well, at least you and I are going to a GameFi conference coming up here next month. I know that the Avalanche, or also to the Avalanche Summit's coming up, and they're going to be there. And one of the big things with Ava Labs is pushing GameFi. So I think that right now, GameFi it's a very misunderstood term. And I think that we need to get more on the page of, okay, if you create a great game, people will play it. And, when we saw Axie Infinity and we saw the garbage that they were putting out, and it still went up to a, $12 billion valuation, people got excited about it. And a bull run, people get excited about everything. So right now it's all about the building. It's about building everything out. It's about preparing for the next bull run. Right now, we're all just playing against each other. And pretty much everybody on this panel is just, we continue to do the same things every single day, but we don't have any new players coming in. We don't have anything new in the, there's no new money that's coming into the games right now. And as soon as people actually start to get back in, which I'm hoping they'll be in the next year or so, once we have a Bitcoin halving, once we have a couple of things come up, that's when it's going to be fun. I think Dreamers talked about the last few AMAs as well. How do we onboard that next 100,000 users, that next million users? We want to get everybody into GameFi. And I've been just paying attention, watching what's going on. ETH Denver was a huge confirmation of 25,000 people in one place, all excited about Web3 and what's going on. So there's a lot still to be built out. And I think the next bull run, we'll see exactly what happens, but it's going to be one of those trajectories where people are like, God, I wish I would have bought it when it was 17 cents.
Hey, one of the people I listen to a lot is Bankless. I know you listen to them too. They had an episode about a year ago with this guy named Vance Spencer, and he was the guy who was really smart, so it seemed, because he called Link when tokens were dead, and he called SNX when tokens were dead during the last bear market. And one of his main theses is that, the last dying gasps of the bull market, those ideas that are kind of the last big things to draw interest and, pump a bunch of money into them that then crash really hard, those ideas are the thing that's going to fuel the next bull market, because it's the time spent in the interim where there isn't as much hype, there isn't as much noise, and those ideas actually get built out from just, a thought into a full-fledged product. And I think, what better example can we see of that than that chart McNasty showed us a few minutes ago of Jewel at the end of the last bull market being kind of the last dying gasp. I remember Bitcoin was going down and Jewel was still going up, And so I think it fits the mold of that thesis perfectly. It's going to be awesome in general, GameFi. And I think this is a good flag bearer, in this sector, is Jewel specifically.
I think a lot can be said when you look at charts, especially the fact that we are in the GameFi aspect of this. And realistically, it doesn't matter. People like Axie and people who have been here, like CryptoKitties before us, realistically, in the terms of history, it's all happened pretty much at the same point. We were all early movers when it comes to what GameFi is actually going to be. Those charts are great in looking at a normal standard DeFi project, but this is true game development at its core. And at the end of the day, like, as much as I want my personal bags to be pumped up, if they could be pumped up in about 3 months, marketing wise, like that would work really well, timing wise for what's released in the game. But like, you're not always in that situation. Like, anybody that looks at us and thinks about things classically DeFi, like rug pools and things like that, if we were, there's a million ways we could have done it a whole lot better if all of our objective was
Risen,
just
I gotta jump in
pull
because I don't even think that's not the question. The question here is GameFi is on this like weird ass trend that's going down, but it's like bullshit because like it's not because we all think all these projects are going to rug, so everyone's dumping automatically. Like that's not what's going on here. It's just a general bear market that like no one wants to put in the risk in a GameFi project right now.
Well, the people that are left are the ones that understand game development.
Right. And I think
like
I understand
if we
that.
push
But, like,
out
I don't think
a game in 2
line,
years, like everybody's gonna look and be like, "Holy shit!" They took something that normally takes 3 to 5 years of development and pushed out a actual standard good product in 2.5
Trust me.
years.
I think everybody here agrees with that. But I think that trend line is not based on some sort of fear that like there's a rug coming. You know, I like that trend line is based on the market, the bear, GameFi in general, and how people are hesitant to like jump in and stuff right now. And I think I don't think anyone's like, oh, it might be a rug, so don't. I mean, that's like there's very few people right now associated with DFK thinking that, you know. Like I think everybody who's in right now is like all for it, and then the people who are outside of it just aren't educated, and we just haven't got to them yet. Like there's nobody who's like, I'm down on DFK because I think it might be a rug. Like those people don't exist right now, you know.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's all of GameFi. It's not even DFK. Like that whole trend that Sarge like put up is just people who are nervous about GameFi in general because it's a bear, because it's this weird new industry of like, can gaming and blockchain like combined, like can it even work? Like that's why that trend, that's why those lines that we see are like that, and it's negative. And so I think
that's where, depending on the game development at that time for each project, it's going to be different. But at the end of the day, how much do you want us to have out and ready to go before you start spouting it off to other people? And before we start onboarding a bunch of people, like that's where the talk about like marketing and things like that, like it's gone all different ways.
I think that's a fair point you're making, but I think that's separate from why are we seeing this trend. I think you're taking it more, you're looking at it more individually as like DFK, and I think in general right now the GameFi world, I think people are scared right now, and that's nothing to do with DFK and nothing to do with what you guys are doing. I think that's just how the trend is right now. People are scared and aren't ready to like jump in, which is why we're all going to be fucking rich.
That's absolutely
because
true.
we're all in it now.
You know what? The best marketing has been the ones that are still around by the end of this bear. You know, those are the ones that we're not trying to fight, we're trying to market with. So I think there's definitely some positivities that come out of this kind of chart view.
Yeah, but this is also like the best. This is also like the best time for us to market as content creators because the price is so low. You could do 1,000 summons, so you could show the actual playing the game like it's nothing. That's why I play the game on my stream, because I want to actually have people seeing me play, seeing me do summons, seeing me excited, seeing that it's fun. Because we have a whole gaming community of people, billion-dollar gaming community that play PlayStation 4, Xbox, all that. They need to be brought into here by knowing that the game is fun. That's all we have to do. We show the game is fun, they're gonna want to play. Simple. We already got the crypto people.
That brings up a really good point, actually. And this isn't to take away from you, because I think that what you're saying is exactly what is the important aspect here. I think the people that we've got sticking around right now, specifically with DFK, are people who are, not to offend anybody, but either suffering from the sunk cost fallacy. I got to get it back. I can't leave right now. Or the people who actually
Who told you my secrets?
potential, right? Or the people who actually see the potential of the development, right? Like, I mean, we can sit there all day and talk about how, it's going to be a great game. I can't wait for this to come out. I can't wait to sink 9 hours of my day right, into playing DFK.
That's it.
Just like, yeah, right, Jay. I'll take it easy on DFK. Only 9 hours. But I mean, there has to be something to grasp onto first, right? Like what Rizen's saying, like there has to be a physical product, or else people are only going to be able to window shop if they can't come inside the business to get something they can hold on to.
Yeah.
But I think we have that though. Like me as a gamer, I was a gamer before I even knew what DFK was, right? And I was just messing around. I didn't know what this stuff was. I got grabbed by something specific in this game that is gonna get the attention of many gamers that like to kind of gamble, so to say. And that's what we already have, which is hero building, summoning. That is freaking fun. I love doing it. And we can get everyone doing that by doing something. Never mind PvP. PvP ain't even out yet. But even right now, we can get people if we start to show that.
You could argue that is PvP, sort of. I mean,
yeah,
obviously it's within our own community and it's within us of like who can create the best hero. You know, no one says it explicitly, which like, hey, maybe we should have a contest. You know, but the idea of like who can create the best hero. I mean, we see Be Easy, we see Aphex, we see. Fucking Shane and Too Honest, like they're creating these heroes, these monsters. They're trying to create the best hero in the game, and there is a reward for that. I mean, maybe not as much as we want in the game, but like there is kind of like a bragging rights of like I created the best hero. There is a game within that, and like there is a game with that.
But I want the lowly guy that combs through the genetics and combs through the abilities to figure out the off-meta picks that are able to take down what is considered the top hero.
We'll get there. We'll get there in a minute. But
that's
Bob,
the game that I'm looking for.
I mean, that's Bob. That's where Bob. See, Bob's too nice, but Bob is smarter than you, and he's doing that already.
Bob, nothing. Let me ask you a question. Can DFK surge to 100x at some point? If it's not a game, because that's something we hear. I mean, it's not a game. How's it gonna 100x? Let me trigger you. Tell me what you think.
That's the question. 100x.
100x and then some. Is it?
How do you build a good hero, Bob? How do you build?
I don't. Yeah, I like that question better. I'm gonna answer that.
We'll get there in a minute. We can jump there now if you don't have anything on that question because
the world is full of infinite possibilities.
Okay, so we'll get there. I really want to hear your question, your response to this question. We can start with you here first. I couldn't have the people I have on the stream tonight without asking this question. Again, we'll start here first. Keep it simple. I want the best hero. I want it today. What is the absolute first thing to consider when looking for that best hero? I'm new to the game. Bob, nothing. What's the first thing I should look into?
If you're new to the game?
And I want the best hero.
Well, I'm going to recommend at least 20 to 30 hours of YouTube videos to watch first.
Yeah, baby.
Because in order to really do this, I would suggest to buy 2 heroes at least to dark summon with, and the stone to do it with. So yeah, honestly, and that's really a tough thing to do for a new person. Otherwise, I would say look in the tavern for the highest rarity with a decent stone hero, and they're getting dumped all the time. So if you're patient enough, you can set up an alert on ADFK and find value there and build some rares and legendaries for not much, $20-$30, and they won't be amazing, but yeah, I would do that as the easiest route. If you were willing to put in 20-30 hours, like seriously, of study, then you could get to a point where you're dark summoning a nice stable.
So while it's the easiest thing to do, I mean, let me fight you on this real quick. Is the mythic Raider Stone hero really an antiquated model to look at the best hero by? I mean, really, there's so much that changed. You don't think so? Okay.
I don't think so. I just think it's not. It's a matter of price. So if you have the budget for it, I don't think that's overrated at all. It's just if you have a lower price point, you're going to have to build something as efficiently as possible. And it's not a day one thing, but you can get there.
Look, I can tell you how to get this done without watching 20 hours of YouTube videos. Even though I totally agree that that's the right way to do it. What you do is you go on to the tavern, you filter by Dread Knights, and you filter by the passives. You pick Second Life. You find one, you buy it. If it's not for sale, you OTC message the owner. Buy it. That one, just that hero. Mythic Dread Knight, double Second Life. That's what you need.
I can't refute that. He's completely correct.
Know that though, but a new player's not going to know that.
No, that's why I'm telling them. Now they know. They only have to watch I don't know, like 15 minutes of bloater content, and they got there.
And they only got to spend 150,000 crystal.
That's it.
I'm truly
no, but in all
wondering
reality,
who's going to be the Dread Killer. Which hero is going to be the Dread Killer? That's what I want to know. I think it's the Scholar. I think the Scholar is going to be the Dread Killer, bro. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's the right take, but it's a hot take.
Yeah.
For the record, though, I do agree with Bob Nothing in like everything he said. I just wanted to, come out and say something neat and different.
Wowie, you're Mr. Wowie, king of meta here. Tell me they're wrong. Tell me they're crazy.
Well, I mean, I wish I could. Second Life was my official answer. Like, literally, if it's got Second Life, it's the best version, right? I mean, if we want to get a little bit technical, I mean, we could say anything probably Legendary Plus can compete at the highest level of whatever it is. And then, I mean, you don't want to look at just I'd say the level of the passive abilities. Passives are very much more important than actives, in my opinion. Specifically, I mean, you could look at the difference between Second Life and Resurrect. You get way more value out of things happening for free for nothing than you do when you have to spend a turn to do it. Now, if we're going to talk about, what's counter meta against, just the stat block monster that is a Dread Knight, you just gotta stick with what's tried and true. I mean, you talk about the off meta styles, right? RNG is our best friend. So we're talking about evasion tanking in super spec chat all the time, right? If you can get enough evasion, you can't get hit by a Dread Knight. Period. End of story. If you can get if you can get on the pirate side enough debuffs to happen for your opponent and enough buffs to happen for you, well, you've just evened the playing field. If you're playing with a non-stacked deck, there's a ton of different options out there. And I mean, the team's goal and focus from the very beginning was we want our basics to be able to compete with our transcendent heroes. That was the absolute first thing I ever zeroed in on when I got into the DFK space at the end of 2021. I was like, all right, as long as they're thinking about power creep in the very beginning, this has potential to actually be extremely competitive. And competitive people love a competitive game, and that's going to be the only onboarding we need, is when people see and believe they're going to stay, they're going to play.
You're not wrong there, but I'm sure Rizen's got some behind the scenes information we're not aware of. I can also tell he's never played a game in his life with, I think that's Magic the Gathering back there on your arm reach, right there.
You see nothing. I'm definitely not hyper competitive.
And I know nothing. So my question to you, I mean, hey, you know what? We've heard some interesting answers from our guests. Some of them pretty straightforward as far as, yes, Mythic Dread Knight, that's what you want. Second Life's awesome. I mean, you've seen some of the things they're building. Maybe you're privy to a little bit more. I mean, tell us about, in your opinion, based on what we know, because if we ask, or what based on what you know, I mean, really, what's the best hero? How do you get that best hero? If your best friend's asking you, what do you tell them?
I mean, all right, not financial advice. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Financial advice. Take notes.
Besides, paying attention to all the meetings that I'm in, but Wowie's right. We're not leaving anything behind. I refuse to play a game to where this is the best person, so therefore this is what you need to buy. That's just not a game that any of us want to develop. We want interesting interactions. We wouldn't have developed the intense, crunchy ass genetic system to just fault of, hey, default, this is the best person. So for me personally, I know with everything that's coming that there's not a single hero that is up there right now on the market that isn't worth more long term than what it is right now. So for me personally, I'm buying from the floor a lot of 10 out of 10 summons, just because like I don't know of a better way to say it than you have partial information. The game is not fully released. The heroes are not fully released. And even when they are, there's going to be meta shifts that happen on a regular basis. As soon as something good comes out, you know the fact that we're going to be working on every way to find a different way to win that not only complements and beats that, but also has interaction. One of the reasons that you pointed out, like I play Magic, one of the reasons that stayed around so long is doesn't matter how broken something is, everything has an answer. Everything has a way around it. That's the level of game development that we are shooting for, and why I joked about like the charts and not paying attention to them, because we can't be bogged down by a lot of that stuff. So I think that there is a timeline that you could put on of what is the best return for you in 2 weeks, 6 months, a year, whatever it may be. But if you're thinking about it like I am, which is I'm not going anywhere, then the best thing cost-wise that I have right now is buy up all those 10 out of 10 summons. I honestly don't even care what their stats are, because realistically, there's going to be too many things in the game to say that a hero is bad.
Yeah.
Eddie,
You heard it here first.
let me put you at odds with Mythic Squad here. The best hero
position to be in.
Just buy it off Mythic Squad. Simple as that. I mean, I what do you think of that? And not what do you think of that statement, but I think. Well, go for it. Answer that question.
No, I would love to answer this. I think, and I think Bob could answer it better. Mythic Squad and a lot. I mean, I'm counting Be Easy in it. I'm counting some others too, where they're going for like these like all or nothing. Like, I want the best hero no matter what. I'm burning a Sage. I'm burning a Dragoon. I'm like doing it. I don't care. I'm going for it. I think that's awesome and that's super fun. That's not the game I want to play, which is like totally fine. I think is the fucking beauty of DeFi Kingdoms, is that there is an entire spectrum of like how we all play this game, and there's risk limits. There's, you can call me a conservative degen, but like I'm not going to be doing the same moves that they're doing. I'm not sprinkling like Too Honest is. I'm not ready to sprinkle as much as he is when he does his summons. So like I don't dark summon as much and stuff like that, and like I'm gonna keep just like grinding, and like I'll level up my guys, and I think they're like that's the beauty of the game, is that there is different ways to play it. Now, I mean, again, I want Bob to answer this question, because I think he's got a better perspective on like there is a way to get those best heroes, to create those best heroes, like comparable at least to like those insane summons. Like Starbuck hit like 3 insane Dread Knights in the past like week or whatever, and like he's on cloud 9, and like he did that because he's dark summoning like a madman. Like you know what I mean? And that's not how everybody's gonna play the game. And so I think there are other strategies though, where we're not just like insanely throwing money away. And I do want to hear Bob, but also like Shane and like you guys do the same thing of like you take risks that I'm not ready for. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean,
Too honest.
yeah, I mean,
we fit another name in the mix. I love it. Okay,
No, but
Bob,
I mean, for the record, Maddie, though, before Bob jumps in, like I do skew more your direction, even though I said what I said. And like Bob, but your episode the other day on Boxside was like really good.
Yeah, I mean, in essence, I kind of shifted a while ago where I just stopped summoning my 10 out of 10s and started selling them and used that money to buy the heroes I wanted because they were all over the place. Just because
I appreciate
of all
you selling them for
Yep,
me.
there we go. We got a deal. That's what it is. And forever, I built up an entire army with those 10 out of 10s. You know, I got the Gen Zeros and I just used them as much as possible, and it was awesome. But at a certain point, you know, I just looked at the market and said, everybody's just spam summoning. There's all these amazing heroes on DGen dungeons at any time. They're, you know, for laughable prices, and I just want to spend all my crystal on that. So I just, you know, I feel like I'm a good hero shopper, and if everybody else wants to take on the risk and, you know, get the reward, fair enough. I'm just gonna,
that's the beauty that we have an ecosystem where people make these crazy moves, and yeah, every once in a while they hit on an insane hero that is, you know, this legendary sage with a sage subclass, and it'll fly above all of us. But there's 8 or 10 misses in between there where they lose money. And like that's not how I want to play the game. I don't have the resources to be like doing those summons, you know.
Which ultimately, imagine we did have the golden opportunity of a huge rush of onboarding, right? Huge amount of people that are coming into the game. I would rather have quantity of raw heroes ready to go, ready for these people than this super specific, this technically is the best, but for the same price of this one technically perfect hero, I could have 3 one step below that hero. And I think that there's always going to be a market for those super specific, this is the best gardener, this is the best at this part in the game. But at the same point, only one person can ever truly have that title. And some people are going to pay out the butt for it, but I don't think that's going to be our average player base.
And Christian, you know, I think this is a good segue to you. Maybe the response to what's the perfect hero is, maybe the answer to that is the hero you can own. I mean, talk to me, because you are well over the 2,000 mark here on heroes. I mean, what do you think of that statement? Are you shooting for the perfect hero? Is that in your grasp, or is it so far down the line because we don't know what the perfect hero would be that you're not bothering with that?
Mythic, Dread Knight, Greater Might Stoned, double resurrection, double second life, boom.
I what can I say? I mean,
cut off your camera. Cut it off. Just leave.
That's it.
So I will say
actually,
one thing.
To tell you guys the truth, I don't own any Dread Knights. I've never summoned one. I've never bought one. I've never owned a Dread Knight. I just can't justify the cost. You know, it's always been way more expensive. And right now I have 2,300 heroes, no Dread Knights. My favorite hero in the game right now is a Spellbow. I love Spellbows more than anything. I used to love Sages because I thought Sages were the ultimate Dread Knight killer. But Spellbow to me is the guy that sits in the back row, casts a spell every once in a while, shoots down whoever it is that he wants to, just laughs as he kills everybody and just leaves everything in a wreckage. So I think this game is going to have so many different ways to get played. I mean, the team's always said that, from Hubert, you know, to what Risen said. I'll echo that. It's just, it's going to have all kinds of different things. And we're only talking about PvP, right? We're only talking about my 3 guys against your 3 guys. What happens when we start crawling through dungeons? What happens when we go traveling? What happens when we, you know, go into the, it's going to have all kinds of different things. You're going to need all kinds of different heroes. So why not? Like,
Christian, do you think of yourself as a Spellbow? Are you a Spellbow? You just sit in the back and just snipe people down? Is that what you do?
So I gotta interrupt here and remind people that there is RPGs, massive RPGs that people play on a daily basis, and there's plenty of those players that don't involve themselves with PvP at all. There's people that grind at these games that do nothing but farm and then auction house and fuel the economy. There's people that purely search out for specific armor sets that match, and they want their colors to match, and they want their hero to look as good as possible. And then there's the people that are playing PvP, and then there's the people that are playing dungeons and trying to be a part of guilds. There's so many aspects to winning in an MMO RPG. That's where the basis of my there is no bad hero really truly comes from, because
True.
each person that's coming into this is going to be trying to get something else out of it, and we can't judge that on the same scale. And to them, some of those hero prices are going to be fantastic, as where you might look at them with a different aspect and think that's terrible, but to them that fits the need of what they're trying to do. And that's where the natural economy that we're trying to build into the game and the true MMO RPG feel will truly take over, is where everything has a place, everything has a use, everything has a reason. And that's where you're not going to see floor heroes like you do today.
To be honest, I've got to ask you to get you in the game here. Now pull up this quote from one of your guildmates here, Skiller55. The reason you do it is because of the price of crystal and jade. Clearly, you've made this your bread and butter. The summoning or attempting to summon that perfect hero. Is it out there? Why do you do it? Inspire the right? And I'm coming at it from a position of I'm envious and I'm trying to follow suit. And your guys' RNG is just different. And to Christian's point, yes, Jade and Crystal is down, but to find the perfect pair to your to your double advanced or double elite hero, I mean, in the open market or OTC, it's kind of damn pricey. I mean, why do you do it? Tell us about your strategy and why are you attempting to find that perfect hero? What does that look like for you?
Okay. Here, I'll give you the perfect thing for me. I do what I do because it's fun. It's fun. At the end of the day, I am a gamer. I'm a gamer,
Cheers.
right? I know we all want to make money here, but there has to be people like me that want to show people that the game is fun. This is fun. It's fun to build these heroes. It's fun to hit a double elite and be like, yo, what did I just do? Like that, it gives you a good solid reaction. It feels great. Of course, yes, not everyone can just go and throw Crystal and Jade away, and yet there need to be people like you as well that can stack that up, can stack those heroes, can have the heroes for when new players come in. Somebody got to have the heroes for them to buy. We need those people too. We need Christian Peters, who has all those heroes, so when new people come in, they have stuff to buy. But then they got to do something with the heroes as well, right? They got to summon them. They got to equip them with weaponry and armor and all that cool stuff. They got to level them up. They got to beef them out. At the end of the day, if you look at like Elden Ring, people want the best character. People want to have the strongest guy. Just because that's just how men are. That's how people are. We want to be the best generally. You know what I mean?
You don't need to gender that, but okay.
I'm just saying. Like, of course, either way, gamers as gamers.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, my bad. Right. You usually want to be the best person. You want to have the best hero, the best character, yada 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 yada. But that's also different for everyone. Like, you might think a Mythic Dread is the best hero. You know what I mean? I might think a Mythic Second Life Wizard is the best hero. It just depends on what the person likes. Like each gamer usually picks a class when they play a game, right? Why do they pick the archer? Why do they pick the warrior? Why do they pick the hero? Because that's just what they like. You know what I mean? So I don't think there necessarily is a best hero, which goes into what y'all been saying. There's not necessarily a best hero. It's just what you like to have,
And this wasn't a planned question, but I love this. Me being able to read some of these comments prompts me to ask this, because this is a great, it's a statement, but I want to pitch it as a question. Many of us say, hey, the time's now. You got to stack up that, Crystal Jade and summon and be a bit more reckless than you would otherwise. At what point does that paradigm shift for you all and say, hey, you know what? The price of jewel is this, or there's this many heroes, or what's that trigger that tells you, hey, you know what? I'm gonna pull the foot off. I'm gonna pull the foot off the gas. Risen, go for it.
Okay, my only true financial advice through all of this is if you're doing that stuff now and you're not having fun doing it, don't fucking do it. Like, if you are early enough in this game that I truly don't think that there truly is like a wrong way to go about all this stuff. But if you're waiting for a delayed gratification rather than in the moment you're enjoying trying to achieve that hero, don't do it. Like that's as simple as it gets. There's plenty of people that are in this game right now that are going on all different tactics. I hope that you are taking the time as we are developing this game to enjoy the part of it that you enjoy rather than just looking at placing a bet for the long term. There's a lot of moon shoots that you could randomly place a bet on to see if it happens, and it takes a whole lot less work. Enjoy our game. Play it how you want to play it. If it makes you happy, then it's worth it long term.
Agreed.
So here's what I think here. I think that makes a ton of sense what the guys are doing, smashing the heroes together right now because everything is cheap, and that's a good time to be doing that because it's fun. I think it also makes absolutely zero sense trying to prioritize specific advanced or whatever level abilities because of two reasons. One is that, at the high levels of any game I've ever followed professionally at esports, like any of them, it's always some innocuous ability that's in those kinds of slots that like is the one that the pros really want. Like, I'll tell you right now, my suspicion is that the pros are going to want on all their heroes a combination of double leadership, double intimidation, or leadership and intimidation. And for the quick hot take in the middle there, anyone who thinks leadership and intimidation together is less valuable than the two like of the same, I recommend you work on your math because we have +10, -10, and +5, -5 for a total of 10 difference. All of them have the exact same value on a hero. And so, like, I think in the end, like, if I were to guess, those are what are going to be the most top tier abilities for heroes because there's nothing better than buffing your damage raw and nerfing their damage raw. Like, that's just the best thing in most games. It's better than a resurrect most of the time because, look, I never get to the point where I need it. I kill them and they can't kill me. Haha. But the bigger point is none of this, like, we're not going to be able to evaluate any of this until the game comes
Wowie? Out. I can't see Wowie's face right now, but I want to know what it is so bad.
Oh man, I'm grinning from ear to ear right now.
How are you feeling, man?
No, I mean,
Wowie's having an aneurysm.
Stigton is like exactly right though. Like there's, I mean, yes, there's a lot. I feel like I can have an extended conversation for about, I don't know, I'd say 5 hours on average with Sticks and Turn about this. And numbers are numbers. I mean,
is that an invite to the Monday stream?
I think I wouldn't mind it. Anyone can hit me up. I'll send this out there right now on the Monday streams. Anyone could just self-invite.
It depends. I think it depends more on DFK releasing the next class, man.
Right? I mean, maybe. But I mean, we could talk about things like consistency kings like we do on stream versus, the RNGesus followers. Your flat bonuses all the time are worth more than something happening once or twice in a match. It's all about how you're setting up your team versus how you're padding that type of utility, right? So if you've got a defensive line and you're nerfing all of their damage by 15% across the board, that's just creating a better defensive line for you. Like, you have to build and play intelligently across the board, which is why that cookie cutter of, what's the best? Can I get a gold stamp on what is unambiguously the best? It just doesn't exist. There's counters and answers for everything. And Risen, I don't know if that is a magic deck back there. I want you to be honest with me. Is that the DFK TCG deck that you're playtesting right there? Is that what I'm looking at?
Test server?
But listen, I will say right now, if they ever allow me, I have mounds of paperwork and spreadsheets ready to go. I have been dreaming my whole life of one thing and one thing only, and that is to create a TCG. Let's go. But no, not currently. Currently, what I'm working on is a way to piss off Bolon, which is one of the people I regularly play with. So about 90% of the decks that I have are purely built along that line of how can I make his day worse.
Let's talk after this.
I like
End
that
of
premise
point.
a lot.
End of
A
point. I
noble
like that. I
cause.
like that. Yeah.
It is a noble cause, but I think I asked a question a bit ago, and that question
Yeah, somewhere back there.
Somewhere back there.
It is now the time to be smashing them together.
Yeah.
What? No. We've established that. No, at what point does your strategy change? 'Cause I think the argument we've been saying is, hey, you know what? Jade's cheap, Crystal's cheap. Yes, it's easy to say, hey, when the price goes up, things change. But there's probably more variables that go into that.
I think tiers, maybe.
Tiers are interesting, but Christian, at what point does your strategy change of, hey, you know what? I'm done picking up all these floor heroes because now I'm gonna change things up. What time is that?
That's a great point, Sarge. Yeah, you know, the price of things is always a big deal, right? When I first got in, like, you know, some of you that are here, heroes were $400 or $500, and you could only afford one or two, right? And now that they're $1 or $2, it's just it's an amazing time to go out there and fill your stable. I just don't know why people are selling heroes. That's the thing that gets me is like, why would you sell them at these prices if you like your heroes?
Don't talk them off of selling them, Christian. I need them to be on the marketplace for me.
Everyone responded.
But yeah, I mean, I think that there's always going to be that floor priced hero, that one that's just going to be out there doing their professional quests. And those are going to be the ones that everybody wants, who's new, is getting into the game, who's never bought an NFT before or doesn't own a hero. You know, they're going to want those. And then you're going to have your top tiered heroes, which are going to be, the mythics that are going to be worth a lot more than they are now. Hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, right? Because, that's what everybody works their way up to. And I remember when I bought my first mythic, I was like, wow, I actually own a mythic hero. I was so stoked. I got a warrior that was absolute crap, and it cost like 299 jewel at the time, which was like, like $1,000. And I was like, oh my God, this is great. But yeah, it's when you hit that price point where playing the game feels fun and it's good, and you know that you accomplished something. You got that mythic hero, you got that elite hero, you got whatever it was that you have in your mind's eye right now that you think this is going to really put me over the top, to the next level whenever we get to that point in the game. And that's what I like about DFK is that you don't have, everybody's got their own idea on how they're playing, what they want to do, how many heroes they want to have, but everybody's idea too is different. And that's what makes it so much fun, is it's going to be, constantly evolving over time. And I'm still excited about, we haven't even gotten to crafting. We haven't even gotten to land. We haven't even gotten to all these things that are going to add some. What happens if these 2,000 heroes can all go work on one piece of land and can craft a tower that, is going to do something for somebody? Then all of a sudden, all these heroes are never.
Okay. Right? Christian, stop talking about how you're going to beat all of us. We don't want to know that. Like, we don't want to know that.
There's nothing.
The one-man empire.
There's nothing that we could do with the game that would change the economy more than onboarding players.
Yep.
Onboarding players drastically changes every equation for every single thing. We keep launching things, and like going back to what you were just saying about like crafting, there's people that play WoW that do nothing but go sell their fact that they can produce the highest leather working and jeweling profession. I don't know why these people get enjoyment out of it, but they do, and they do it 45 hours a week. So they enjoy it. So yeah, there's going to be things constantly that we release that are going to change this equation, but I don't think there's anything across the board that's going to change more than onboarding. When we have more players, when we have a larger spread, that just the demand changes on everything. And I don't know exactly.
What was that word? Can we get that word again?
Everything.
Okay.
Everything. You gotta really like from the deep in the chest, everything. But like as simple as it is, realistically, let's say we do have a large onboarding, but it comes from one specific culture. let's say that our expansion into Korea changes the aspects of the market completely, because the average Korean player plays differently than the average player in DFK does now. All of that can have a huge impact. Like, and I believe me, I wish that the translations were out longer or were out quicker when we launched all of that, but 25,000 words, like, it took a while to do that, but I'm really excited for those kind of things, at the very least, to take all of your ideas and just put them on top of their heads and completely change everything that y'all are doing.
I'm gonna mute Risen because I have the power to, and I want to piss him off
fuck,
because
that's
I don't have
awesome.
that power otherwise.
But low-key,
Maddie,
Risen is just
respond
saying
to
that
what
Koreans
Risen
are
was
gonna crush
saying.
us in PvP.
Okay. I do want to talk
That's
about
what
this,
he
and
said.
I might be changing the gears a little bit, but I do want to bring this up.
I threw
especially
my
because-
agenda out long ago, Maddie. Go
yeah,
for it.
and I think this panel is amazing to talk about this, because I think vast majority, if not everybody, comes from a background of gaming, like in however you define that. I think everybody here on this panel comes from that world, and I think that is like one of the key things that needs to be talked about here with DFK, is that I think the NFT world and blockchain, but specifically the NFT world and the gaming world right now have this like weird divide where the gaming world is like hesitant, doesn't wanna cross into it or whatever, and the NFT world has some problems with it that are stopping from the gaming world from coming into it, because the gaming world that everybody wants to play games that are fun, and they don't care about making money, really. Okay, so the NFT world saying, hey, come to our thing, you'll make money, is not a selling point for the gaming world. The gaming world doesn't give a shit about that. They just want to play fun games and have fun, have a good time. So when the NFT world, when characters in the NFT world make YouTube videos where they're in costumes, wearing sunglasses, and they're fucking fur or whatever, and they're making like videos of like, come play our game because it's fun, like, that is not a video that is going to entice gamers, because they're going to see that and be like, this is nonsense. I want no part of it. And I think like the NFT world needs to figure out how to talk to the gaming world. And like, if that bridge is like, if there's a better bridge than this obnoxious sort of, come to us, come play this game because you'll make money, like that needs to change. I think, and Risen, I'm not trying to shoot down like the like DFK, I don't think is doing this at all. And I think it's just like
problem.
It's a picture. It's a
problem.
problem with the ecosystem in general.
I don't disagree with you at all.
And I think like we need to get those gamers, because I think right now we have an idea of like a really cool fucking game that everybody wants to play.
Well, like, if I could just tip in before Styx shoots down whatever you're saying, there's a lot of bridges that have happened prior to even DFK launching into this world that have happened. As the person that's personally reached out and tried to make a lot of that stuff happen, there's a lot of people that I've had to try and bust my way through to even be able be allowed to show up places. And guess what? We haven't, not because we haven't wanted to, but because we haven't been allowed. There is a lot of prejudice against what other actors in our space have done. And I don't think that you're wrong of bridging that gap between actual basic gamer, which is a majority of the people on the planet. Majority of the people play video games
and they don't care about making money.
But the establishment has to be crossed in a safe pathway.
I'm not saying I have a right answer. I'm just saying I think there's so much obnoxiousness and annoying YouTubers that like really hurt.
We don't
the
hire
entire
any of them.
message of like what we're trying to do is like we're trying to do this like so fucking cool, this idea of like gaming and adding blockchain to it to create a world that is like an intelligent RPG ecosystem.
Beautiful.
Where like individuals can own their items and can fucking battle in the world. It gets me so fucking excited. I get so annoyed. I get so annoyed
Maddie, I
when it's
love you.
like laser sound, NFTs make money. I hate those people so much.
Me too.
Listen, it would have been so easy to hire some attractive women and fuzzy characters, but we haven't done it for a reason. And we're going through the pitfalls of it, but we'll make it on the other side, and we'll see the benefit of not going down that path.
I hope so, because I'm in. Like, I support DFK completely, and I gotta stop.
Okay,
we gotta get this-
I'm gonna get angrier. I keep getting
Yeah.
angrier with it. But
No, first off, listen, you don't need to hire beautiful women. You can simply draw them. Second off, Maddie, the perception that GameFi and game people hate NFTs is wildly overblown. Recent poll cited by Andreessen Horowitz in their A16Z 2023 State of Crypto report found that about 10% of respondents hated NFTs. 10% of respondents, like this is a poll of gamers, 10 loved NFTs, and 80% didn't give a shit one way or the other. So I
But
think
the
it's
people
just
that control the actual gates
if somebody's
are
making some
biased.
obnoxious goddamn video with like fire explosions and lasers and shit like that, and they're like, our game is the best game ever.
I can
Every
share
gamer I know is gonna be like, I don't give a shit about that.
Awesome
Like, that's not what they
cinematics,
want. That's not what
gaming
they
drama.
All right, leave it to the two lawyers and Risen on the show. To honest, I see you trying to get in here, but before we do, let's get a Grady commercial break here.
He's filthy. He's nasty. He's Sergeant Filthy McNasty. Yeah.
He lives with me forever. To honest, I know you want to get in here. Respond to anything you've heard recently, because I know you've been trying to get in.
Well, no, I agree. I agree with Maddie. Like, we have to definitely create a narrative. Whether we're like, I know some of us aren't allowed to, like the devs and all y'all ain't allowed to. But that's why you have guys like us that are content creators, right? We're kind of a little bit more on this free world type thing. We can we're artists at the end of the day. We're artists. We're creators. The artists change the narrative. That's what we do. We are artists. So if we can change that narrative and show these people that blockchain gaming and NFTs and crypto is actually fun, it's not just about money, that it's fun, maybe something can happen. But we need the masses. We need all of us to be doing it. You know what I mean? To show them that this is fun.
Absolutely. I'll go to my next question here. Maybe we can wrap with this one, because this will probably take a minute too. I'll start with Bob Nothing. I'm intrigued by your answer here. I'm sure you'll have an interesting response. This question comes to us from inspired by Mr. Tad Effects here, which I believe is another ADFK guild member. I keep telling you guys are something else. I love all the guilds for sure, but I guess you guys all have big brains. I've not met any of you all I don't like. So anyhow, the question is, he had a Twitter post that he's turning into a video, which may release tomorrow. I talked to him. I think he wants to get your all impressions as well. We asked something similar to this question a bit ago. Things have changed, and now things have changed in the direction where this becomes maybe a bit more relevant. Simply said, if you could choose, would you rather have a Gen 0 or 1 Gen 0 or 1,000 floor heroes? And now what I think he was getting at was, for the price of 1 Gen 0, you can get about 1,000 floor heroes. Things have changed. It's an interesting tweet if you've not interacted with it yet. I know, Christian, you responded to it as well. Bob Nothing, which are you choosing? The 1 Gen 0 or 1,000 floor heroes?
I actually did see that poll, and I think I voted 1 Gen 0 early, but I've kind of changed my mind. It was mostly just a math equation because the floor was a little 10K higher. But yeah, it really depends. Having done a lot of different things with Gen 0s, if you don't have a summoning partner right now, it's really tough in the tavern. So like having one guy that you're either going to rent out for 100 crystal every 3 days or try to find a partner with is not going to be nearly as profitable as summoning. If you can set up, a summoning partner or get 2 that you can summon by yourself every 3 days, I don't know. They're worth a lot. They really are. But
they're
I
worth
don't
a
know.
lot, but are they worth as much by themselves? I mean, really,
Yeah,
that's
you're also going to need to pay $100 a month basically to bought all those floor heroes. So like, that counts. I mean, as we're the items that they get are worth less and less. That $100 becomes a little more far away every month. Just like that's just eating into your profits. But
and
I don't know. I picked
I'll,
10 zeros.
and I'll ask you this question before I let others interject. Wowie, I want to hear from you on this one too. Yes, I think right now the way the tokenomics are built out, maybe yes, right, and they're worth less. But with this Giga patch coming, the patch to rule them all, you're getting maybe pets, you're getting maybe level 10 profession questing. Really, it's a patch, but in many ways it's a tokenomics rework. What I hear is utility. With that in mind, I mean, does that change your answer, Bob? Nothing. I see Risen trying to cover his face.
No,
He's probably
see,
trying to poker face his way through this.
this was kind of how I was going to answer the first question until I got changed to 100x Jewel. But no, it's all a matter of liquidity at this point in terms of the Giga patch and everything else and summoning preference. It's all a matter of liquidity. We're the same however many 100 people that are just, shifting assets around. So yeah, I mean, the Giga patch is going to pump some stuff. Maybe some people are sitting on stables for it and there'll be some more come in. So it can be, that, but mostly people are going to trade other stuff for it. So it's just going to be like it has been in terms of shifting around, in my opinion. So unless that equation changes and there's more liquidity coming in, I don't really think it's sitting on the sideline waiting personally, but
also,
I could be wrong.
Sergeant, not to lose points for myself, but I want to hear Christian's opinion on this because he's been very pro building a floor army, and I want to hear Christian. I mean, my question to you is like, floor armies are like you could hypothetically spend $100 and get an insane amount of like what where does it end? I mean, like how many floor heroes is too many? Or does that not exist for you? Because I know, and I want to give a shout out, Christian. I want to shout out you because I think you doing the streams with Grady on Mondays. I think the one 2 weeks ago, but all of them are very smart. But like the one I was listening to one, and I was like, holy shit, this guy's so fucking smart, and I was blown away. So Christian, big shout out to you. But also I want to hear your opinion on this. How many floor heroes is too many? I mean. Because they do have the ROI very quickly, and you've been talking about this, so I want to hear your opinion. And also, yes, I am taking over as host. Thank you, Sergeant.
No, but you know what? No, I'd like to thank France and Guy Kid for sponsoring this episode.
Yeah.
Have I told you guys about Fight Club?
Yes.
I don't know if I'm the only one playing this drinking game, but I'm having fun with it.
France and Guy Kid. So to answer your question, Maddie, the answer is it's infinite right now. So I know that FX Tad is like in the same boat as I am. There's no way in hell that everyone should not be accumulating as many heroes as they possibly can. Like I said earlier, why would you sell them at these prices? I wouldn't. I mean, it's like anything else. It's like when Bitcoin goes too low, you accumulate, right? You don't say like, oh, I'm going to sell it here. Heroes, like I said, heroes and Jewel to me are the two top assets in this game. Pets may become one, but they have no utility yet. To me, heroes have utility and Jewel has utility. Those are the biggest portions of this game that I've always, preached about. And I think that to this day, I can't believe they're so low. I was talking to Zealous yesterday or a couple of days ago from DFK Helper, and we were chatting about everything. And I'm just like, how can I not summon as many heroes as I possibly can right now, knowing that 2 Gen 1 10 out of 10s, I'm getting a hero for under $1. Well, if you count tiers, it's a little bit over $1, but you're getting heroes for $1 each. And I'm of the opinion that at some point, right, call it a year from now, call it 2 years from now, these heroes are going to be worth so much more than that. So much more. And to tell you the truth, I don't really have to do much other than send them out on a profession quest, maybe training quests, maybe crafting, maybe those little things here and there. But when they become level 10, 15, 20 at some point, hopefully here in the future. God, can you imagine this dollar hero that I bought is now worth $100 just because all I did was send him out on quests? It's to me, it's insane. It's just mind-boggling to me.
And
like,
how much
Sorry,
was that hero returned on its dollar investment to you
Right.
in the time that it took you to turn from that $1 to $100? And I hate to keep bringing it back, but like, there is a straight up numbers game of we can onboard as many players as we want. There's going to get to a point where there's only so many heroes and so many resources that just change that economy that comes through it. So it's a matter of the short game versus the long game. And I applaud you, Christian, because I'm in the same boat of, fuck it, I'm just going to keep accumulating. If I could just stop sending them to random people on Discord, I would have a whole lot more heroes.
Well, and
by the way, anyone in the chat, just message Risen and say, "Can I have your hero?" And there's like a 90% chance he will legit give you his hero.
He might.
He
Here's
just
a
will
hot
do
take.
it.
I 100%. Yeah,
I'd be so
agree
much richer
100% with
if I
you
just
honest
didn't
too. I
do
think
that.
that the big thing that we all miss is that you have to really love what it is that you're doing, and each person loves a little bit differently what they're doing in this game. So, I love watching, about life, and it's just like when you're summoning and you hit that perfect hero, just like you said, when you get that elite hero or when you get that gene pair that you were looking for, that releases the dopamine, makes you feel good. It makes you feel like, oh, I love this game. And, I don't know when that mythic hero is going to pop out of that, of that crystal, but they do every once in a while. And I was talking to somebody today on Discord. It's like, when I get that mythic hero that I summoned that I wasn't expecting, I'm dancing around the room, right? I'm just like, doing my little shit.
You're happy, man.
Somebody clip that. Clip Christian just dancing right now.
Yes,
I want
turn it
that.
into
I
music
want that
video.
as a
Who
GIF.
does that?
I want that as a GIF, everybody.
Too honest. You are DFK Salt Bay. I mean, what would you take, Gen Zero or the 1,000 floor heroes?
Well, I would take the 1,000 floor heroes, because you guys know how I do. But of course, it's going to benefit you in multiple ways. So, financially wise, it'll be a better decision. Fun wise, it'll be a better decision because then you have more players, more heroes to play with, more heroes to summon with, more heroes to, if you want to burn or whatever you want to do, more heroes to just do more things with. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I do love Gen Zeros. You know what I mean? I have one. I got blessed. I won one with Dark Summoning. I was happy as hell. You know what I mean? I do love Gen Zeros, but it's just a smarter decision to have 1,000 heroes. You know what I mean? In my opinion. So.
No, absolutely. And what I'll add to that, and while maybe we can get you into this combo with this question, I think what's genius, and you all probably thought of this because I am, while I'm smart, you guys are way smarter. But what I've come to realize is that, Christian Peters 2,000 plus floor heroes with a game meta changing on a regular basis potentially, he's setting himself up for a couple of things. One, presuming his floor heroes have summons left on him, on them, he can then summon the perfect meta hero for that period in time. Wowie, are you taking the 1 Gen 0 or 1,000 floor heroes?
It's a really good question because it's a hard answer, right? You've heard the one side where it's like, well, you can't get it 1 Gen 0, you got to get 2. And then you've also heard, if I'm gonna play the game and have fun, I want the floor heroes to actually do everything that's available in the game right now and be prepared for the future, right? So, like what Risen was saying is 100% spot on. You have to, like, what's your time scale look like? Am I in it to turn a profit in the short term, in the medium term, or am I in for the long haul, right? Am I getting out a year and a half from now, or am I getting out in 5 years, or am I going to try and get profit in 5 years? And what is it going to be in? Is it going to be in Power Token, or is it going to be in USD, or whatever, your country of choice exchange? So I would think I would take the 1,000 floor heroes, especially in the short term. Long-term answer is 100% the 1 Gen 0, even without the pair. Because at some point, that what Risson said, the Gen Zeros are going to be limited. There's not going to be any more at some point. And Harambe, is going to have 2,000 of those Gen Zeros. So there's only going to be 500 floating around for the rest of us. But when we get the onboarding, right? Say we hit it big in South Korea and we get like a really good like Asian market and a really, really, really healthy onboarding. And now all of a sudden, we didn't just go back up to what our original play base was. Now we've got 500,000 active users. Now we've got 1 million active users around the world. And, there's only 2,500 Gen Zeros out there.
And they all pray at the altar of Wowie.
Right. I mean, fingers crossed. But I mean, so when there's scarcity like that, I mean, I think we're going to see the floor rise. Obviously, our tokens are going to rise. I think we're going to see the floor price rise because people are going to go, okay, yeah. I mean, even if our tokens back up to $20, $20 jewel, please come back. But if we're even up there and we're looking at floor hero prices at 40 again, and we're seeing, okay, this hero costs $1,000 at the floor, right? I think we're going to see a power token increase on top of that because the people who are in it are going to say, oh, I can make money in the short term by flipping this. It's going to increase the demand and the supply is going to be short. We're going to see a lot of floor heroes when the Gen Zeros are in there. But if we onboard at a higher rate than what we can expand from, demand, it's going to be a reverse short squeeze in the future. And we're just going to go parabolic if that's the case. Long-term Gen Zero, short-term.
I have to push back here, though. If that happens, if there is this insane rush, this insane flood of new players, which I do think that's a 100% possibility, and also I hope for that to happen. I want that to happen. In that scenario,
it's going to happen.
You want the Gen Zero,
right?
Like
right. No, that's exactly my point. You want the Gen Zero in the long-term parabolic because that thing's going to go from being worth at a floor of $3,000 to whatever, this is going to buy me a mansion.
Sticks, though. I mean, quite honestly, I mean, I get the 1,000 floor heroes today. They pay off so quick. I can just buy my Gen Zero tomorrow. I mean, not literally, but quite figuratively. I mean, the Gen Zero or 1,000 floor heroes. What are you doing? And you're muted. We can't hear you, but it sounds like you had some hot takes there.
I had a bit of a moment when Aphex posted this thing. You may not have noticed, but I left like 6 comments on his thread in various places, alternating between Gen Zero and 1,000 floor heroes. And it was kind of a crisis of confidence because recently, actually, same guy, Aphex, sold me 2 Gen Zeros like last week because allegedly needed.
No, you got a good deal. That's a good deal.
No. I got there eventually.
That pair is amazing.
I got there eventually, but I was just like, holy shit. I could have bought 1,000 plus heroes with that money. There was just this moment where I was like, I could have been Christian Peter. I think about this guy as a legend.
A dream we all have. A dream we've all had. I could be Christian Peter.
I can't fucking work now. I got to think about whether I screwed up. And now this guy's like calling me on it, subtweeting me by doing this poll. Like, no, Aphex was not doing that. And I know that my situation is slightly different. But I had a big reaction to it. And if it's just one Gen Zero, I do think ultimately, I think the 1,000 is probably better than one. But as Aphex reassured me, because he's a great salesman, my purchase was still good because I got 2 that were like a matching set, and that is, it's unique, right? There's added value, there's premium because of that. So I don't feel so bad, but yeah, I would go with the 1,000 floor heroes, preferably not an even distribution among the 4 professions though. And so that is one reason, Christian Peter, going back up to you, why I do sell some heroes is because I have too many gardeners for DFK helper to be efficient because I made an early investment into gardeners that was not good. And I got to get some of those off my hands and then take that money and summon some foragers. and fishers and stuff, you know? 'Cause
I-
it's just
I-
like I can't fill up the gardens, or I can't get my heroes enough XP every day, you know?
I can't help but imagine, that moment where you turn to one of your guinea pigs and you say, hey, you know what? I think this guy who sold me 2 Gen 0s is trolling me on Twitter via a Twitter poll. Like, I'm
No,
sure
like they
that
have max
happens.
level trolling too.
No, but I mean,
You
it's an
know?
interesting question. And you know what?
So
the
one thing,
response will
though.
change.
One thing though I do want to say is I think that everyone who's saying like 1,000 heroes is the answer is pretty much assuming that some automation tool like Helper is going to be involved, because there's no way anyone in their right mind would recommend a new player try to manually quest 1,000 heroes.
Hey,
Right?
Helper
Like,
is the only
Some
way.
people here get paid to play this game on a regular basis.
Where can I sign up?
Yeah.
Wait, yeah. Should I be involved in this? Is there a referral link?
That is the funniest thing you've said,
My God.
Sticks. Points for you. No, I mean, Risen. I mean, okay, the counter argument to that is the person who says 1,004 heroes has 1,004 heroes because he can't afford the 1 Gen 0. I mean, how factual is that statement? And that's me. I'm still the one podcaster who doesn't own a Gen 0, by the way. But anyhow,
I mean,
Risen-
I'll say for the fact
Wow.
that I've owned and sold and bought and sold and bought and sold many of Gen Zeros. I've been lucky enough to be a part of that group. I was never a part of the initial group that just got them for free. I've paid for everything I've gotten. But if
But
you're
also, wait,
giving me,
Riz, I want to interrupt. Your like wallet address is like public, and like this is like not like
hell
like
yeah,
it's all very out there.
no, you can see. I mean, if you
but
want
I
to be
want that. I want that to
depressed-
be known.
If
That's
you want to
actually
be
like cool. That's
depressed,
actually cool that you do that, though. Is what I'm saying. Like
if you want to be
like
depressed,
your address
you
is
can
out there,
look
so we can know what he's
at
doing,
what
and
I've
also
done.
do the opposite.
I've gone off of giving hero giveaways in Discord where I just simply search from the highest legendary, like highest capability, and giving away just nothing but those heroes. Don't listen to me for personal advice. But if I was choosing personally right now, I would be choosing the 1,000 heroes. I've had up to, I think at the highest I've had 8 Gen 0s at a time. And realistically, I just didn't have as much fun with it. Realistically, for me at this moment, I think I could do a lot of crazy shit with 1,000 heroes that I couldn't do with 1 Gen 0. That's just where I'm at currently, but my end game has never been to pull every single penny out of this game. It's been to have fun and do whatever the hell I want at whatever time that I want to do. So even with those 1,000 heroes, summoning them across each other, half of those mythics would end up being given away in a Discord giveaway when I was way too tired and shouldn't be online. But currently, I would take the 1,000 heroes because I just think that that's just the more fun option. Along with the price of Gen 0s is high. And I know, like, we've talked and it's been mentioned about, the price of the Gen 0s, price of the heroes, something that's been on our heads since the very beginning, at least mine, if not others, is the price of what it costs to play this game versus a AAA game. There's something truly to be said about, as much as I want my bags to pack and go through the moon, I also want volume. I want people. I want involvement. I want the price to be stable. I want the economy to be stable. I want it to be rewarding for the people that invest in it. But I don't want it to shoot out to an unreachable, unstable platform. Currently, I think that the price difference between a 10 out of 10 summons Gen 1 and a Gen 0 is larger than it's ever been before, which is why I'm buying the Gen 1 10 out of 10 summons. as somebody that's owned the Gen Zeros before, but to each their own. Is all dependent on that same thing that I've mentioned before, which is the timeline that you're thinking about this. But none of it matters if you're not having fun. And I think 1,000 heroes being dropped in my wallet would be way more fun than one Gen Zero at the very core. I just think that'd be a blast.
Matty Pask, former co-host of the Non-Well podcast turned Well podcast that he co-hosts with France and Guy Kid, Fight Club promo again. I mean, hey,
shit, I need a new beer.
Yeah, I mean, does your answer change a year ago? Being thinking of where you were then.
Yes.
Things being the same then that they are, as to now. I mean,
I don't know.
Does your answer change?
That's hard, Sarge, and you know that. Like last year, well, I mean, not necessarily like last year at this exact time, but like prices have changed. Gen Zero prices, floor hero prices have changed.
And I will interject that it is a sort of unfair statement because the ones you've gotten have been you've won them via raffles, etc. So it is a very different sort of question for you.
Thank you for saying that. That's great.
I've got to be fair.
I appreciate you letting everyone know.
Won his.
I won my Gen Zeros and I didn't pay for them. Thank you for saying that.
You're welcome for that.
I appreciate it. I wasn't going to talk about that. I was going to shout out again Christian Peter because again, this dude is so fucking smart, and I think the return on investment of having an army of these floor, or however you want to phrase them, floor heroes, quote unquote bad heroes, commons or whatever, having the army of them, having the hundreds, thousands of them, they will pay you back. Like you could send them out questing and then sell those items that they get, the materials, whatever, mats, if you will. They will immediately pay you back within like 2 months because they're so cheap right now. And I think, and this is something that I learned, I mean, I knew this was available, but like Christian Peter laid it out very well in talking with Grady and his Monday night streams. They kill it. Again, I cannot hype that enough. The two of them talking Monday night is very fun because I love Grady's just like, what do I do? And Christian Peter's like, okay, do this. It's very fun. The dynamic they have is great, and everyone watched them Monday night. Anyways, the point is, I think right now we are in a position where we can take advantage of this and spend, the floor heroes are $1. Who gives a shit? I shouldn't say that. People spend money. I understand that, but they're so cheap. We are in a position right now to take advantage that will not, hypothetically, if the game blows up like we think it is, I believe it will, and I think everybody here will agree. We have such an advantage right now to put ourselves in a position where we could create armies of heroes that will grow, they will have value later, and I think we need to follow Christian Peter. That's all I'm saying. And move on. I'm just
saying, we all forget about the people complaining about the price of a base floor hero and
right
in general chat. I have not forgotten that, getting DMs on a regular basis of how it's unreasonable for a floor hero.
That was when it was by Jewel, and Jewel was at $20. It was an unreasonable price. That was a fair complaint to make.
That's where I want.
But that's not. I want the system is made now that will never happen again.
I want the tokens to be valuable. Don't get me wrong. Personally, I would gain considerably if the tokens became much more valuable than they are now. I also, for the longevity of the project and for the fact that I am a gamer that would want this to be accessible for the masses, have a personal limit on how successful that token growth is. I do have an internal thought process of how expensive can these things truly be before it doesn't become worth it. And that's something that doesn't
Wait, are
come
you
up
on the
that
token?
often.
Are you on the token committee?
No, they don't
Ooh,
let
I
me
hope
on
not.
things like that.
All right,
No, but
Maddie
in all
Risen,
serious though,
go for it.
no, Risen's like got a great point, which is why I loved, and voted heavily in favor of the tokenomics changes because it's like tying separating Jewel away from the in-game economy of summoning and
You voted on that?
dueling. Yeah,
Okay.
Listen,
you
you
may not
don't,
recall.
your voice doesn't
Most
matter if you
people
don't use
don't
it.
really care about voting power, which is funny because it's like one of the most valuable things according to history, but like no one gives a shit. Anyway,
Well,
but like
what
yeah,
do
when
you
we
mean by
voted for
history?
it,
Well,
American history. I don't know. Like, do you study any other history?
I mean,
Anyway.
is there any?
you don't know what I've
No,
studied.
but like Crystal and Jade, though, I want those to stay cheap, right? I would say like 50 cent limit. Like above that, I start getting worried because that's like 30. Like, yeah, I feel like the summons start getting up into the 30s, close to the 50s, just say even low gen at that point at 50 cents. And but like Jewel, I don't have any internal limit for, nor do I think there should be one, except maybe I worry a bit about power ups, but. I'll cross that bridge when I get to the point that people are complaining the power ups are too expensive. You know, like that. That's how I think of that one.
I think literally one of the first things I ever said in the DFK Discord was, "My God, this is $800," and it was like the cheapest thing on the tavern.
So factual. I was that person too. And I wouldn't call it complaining as much as just factually pointing out his statement. I mean, with entry barrier to entry, however you say that, it was crazy. I couldn't afford it, and yet I bought 2 heroes. To honest, I know Maddie Pest turned off this camera. He's probably either chatting with friends and Guy Kid or getting another beer.
Well,
to honest, I mean, Gen 0, 1,000 heroes. Geez, you could do so much with 1,000 heroes. I could see you dark summoning half of those. I mean, no one's talked about dark summoning any of those 1,000 heroes. I mean,
Yeah.
I also would question looking at Wowie's original comment in DFK sub. It's Discord was how
It's all
long is
very
this
cringe.
cooldown on quest completion?
yeah.
I'm just saying, I've readily accessed the exact moments and your initial comments via Discord.
What was
Come at
my
me.
first comment? You gotta tell me.
Can't
Now
you
I'm
just
curious.
search from user? Can't we all do that?
Wait, all of us?
Yes, but
Listen,
please don't look
Sticks,
mine up. I was
you
very
can-
confused.
You can. I will mute you
Anyhow.
all.
We could certainly be here a bit longer. We threw out the agenda when the conversation sort of naturally progressed in the direction it did. I don't know how the fuck this happened. Wowie, you won. I don't remember.
You gave him 30 points for going full moon.
What are the, like, I think Sergeant,
He
that's
was
the
on
hottest take of the
25.
night.
He said
Fake
$20
news.
jewels.
How
You just kept it
fuck
real.
this
I-
happened?
Dominion
I don't know how
voting
the fuck the
system.
smartest guy
That
on the
was
planet
you,
won.
Sergeant.
I mean, you gotta give it to Wowie. Wowie comes in,
I
he
think-
just rocks it. He doesn't say
Yeah.
much, but when he does, it's golden.
Did he beat
Before I
Franz
say,
and Guy Kid?
Drink.
he
Ooh,
may
drink.
have beat. He may have beat Franz and Guy Kid. The question is, Grady. Where's Grady? There he
He's
is.
filthy. He's nasty. He's Sergeant
get this
Filthy
outta here.
McNasty.
I got
Yeah.
something on this point. Sarge, if you like into it, I got something on that.
Oh, do you? Okay. What is it?
I don't know. It's supposed to be playing.
I don't hear anything. Sticks in turn made me a quote. It was something to the effect of, I've got lots of quotes too. They're just
The
Can
rest of you,
I have a suggestion,
Oh,
Sarge? For
yes.
future stream, can you get the people that interrupt other people the most and just put them all in one stream? I'll
Oh my
happily
God,
select myself.
I think
in
that'd
that
be me.
group.
I think that'd be me. Yeah.
Listen, Maddie, Crypto Baby H was great. Ogre's great at that too.
We'll just
Um,
all talk over each other and
It'll be
just fight
chaotic.
for every second of content.
Sticks, by the way, that was epic. That was great. I want to hear more. I know
Little
you and I
teaser.
have been talking behind the scenes. That is a teaser. I want more. Wowie, any parting words you'd like to leave us with before we end up calling it? Words of wisdom for us peons.
Words of wisdom that I can pass on to my fellows. I think I could just repeat the cardinal phrases: play intelligent, build intelligently, make sure you've got a plan, bring a cleanse. There is one thing I wanted to ask everybody here on this panel, and it was Too Honest that brought this to my mind when he was talking about everyone has a favored class when they play an RPG. Everyone, if you play a wizard, you're always playing a wizard. If you're playing an archer, you always play an archer. I want to know what everybody's favorite RPG
that'd be
class
fun.
is
Yeah, we'll all
in this
say our
little
favorite.
panel real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
go ahead and start off. Mine, I always play a warrior.
Really?
I like that.
Right? That's what everyone says.
It's very basic, but I like rangers in general. That's it. I guess archers for other games, but rangers in general. KP, what do you like?
I love paladins because I know that workhorse is gonna, boost them up to a status level that's gonna be insane. But no, I love the fact that you're the lawful good guy that goes in there and does all the damage, and then heals everybody at the end.
All right.
So love those guys.
Too Honest?
Well, I'm the mage guy, man. I like magic, so I always do magic. That's
Hell
what I
yeah.
got.
I love it. Prison, what kind of chaotic shit are you?
Surprisingly enough, I've always mained hero healers, just because whether or not you survive that fight is depending on how much shit you talked beforehand.
Always treat your healers well.
Bob,
Just
nothing. What are you playing with?
Yeah, surprisingly, I'm pretty loquacious at the D&D table, and the Bard was the only character I've taken to all the way to level 20 in Pathfinder.
Fuck yeah.
Wow.
Took
Badass.
forever and a day, and he was a non-combat Bard. He was a good caster, could use every item in the game basically, and just got into all sorts of shenanigans and trolled GMs and fellow players as much as possible.
That
And
actually
was-
sounds really fun.
True
Yeah,
Bard.
that actually sounds
No
really
shit,
fun.
that's
Sixth
badass.
intern, what are you playing?
Oh, well, Wowie kind of took my answer, so I'm just going to say Warriors get a Wowie.
Yeah.
Ah.
Big stick DPS.
I am looking to make the luckiest Bard in the game if possible. I'm lining up summons for
Ooh,
luck
bold
aligned, greater luck stone Bard with a good subclass.
Luck
like
gets
that.
little
Someday.
love.
Just
Maddie,
for fun.
Maddie,
I also lean healer. I gotta say cleric. I'm usually a healer.
Yeah, Maddie.
I'm surprised you don't
Any
name
rogues
friends
in
and
the
got
group?
kid.
Life and death.
Yeah.
What was that
I
about
don't
Francis?
know. Well, I will say this. I'll say this. I'll just add this. I know Guy Kid was a he was also a cleric, but he was a shadow cleric in World of Warcraft. I know that for sure. And
Shadow priest.
Franz never played WoW, so he's a I don't know what. He's a goddamn heathen. Whatever.
I assume he left right.
But drink because I said their names.
Sarge, what about you? Sarge, what character is yours?
I love me some rangers. I love me that thief character, that sneaky P who sort of lives in the dark. He that character looks different in different games. He's either a ninja, a thief, a ranger, depending on what you're playing. Just I like sort of being that guy who's SgtFilthyMcNasty, sort of trolling people from the periphery.
So you like playing Paladin in WoW?
I've never played WoW.
Wait, say it
Oh,
again.
good.
I want to
You
get
would-
my
you would-
reaction. I want to get my
You
reaction.
would have
Say it again.
loved Bubble Heart.
I've never played WoW. All right. Well,
should
with
start a
that
guild.
said, ladies and gentlemen, I wrote out an ending here, and I think this is Sticks intern would be proud of me for this one. This might prompt some interaction here. Let me get to it because my agenda is like out the window. Thank you very much for tuning in. Who had the hottest take? Did anyone get rubbed out of points? Let's continue that conversation in the comment section or on Twitter. Be sure to tag me that I can get in on that fun. As always, stay persistent, stay bullish, and Sarge out.
Bullet.